Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. We haven't even made it to pre-release yet, and new has already made a long-lasting impression on the CC metagame. Our new assassin brings a lot of tricks to the table during the reaction step with cards like Hiss and Slither, but one of Assassin's best qualities is that all of their cards block for 3, so you get to play a super good value game. I really hope you guys are ready for a new experience. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. Okay, we're playing against Dashio, and I mean, they load 66 cards, we load 62. The name of the game is probably like, try to hang on as long as we can, prevent as much damage as we can, and crack back when we can, I guess. It's probably about the only true options we have here, I think. So this hand is not bad if they leave us with the hand, because it does quite a bit here and we get to push through some pretty good damage. Ooh, fuel injector, huh? Okay. Interesting. So they play backup protocol red and crank, and then play fuel injector. Fuel injector is a spicy one. So we get to attack with Spider's Bite. We get to play Art of Desire Body, Hiss, Razor's Edge, and then we can Arsenal the Slither, because I don't think there's really a reason to play the Slither. Like arsenaling a Go Again card's pretty decent. I think that's a pretty good place to be at. Anytime we can Arsenal Go Again, we want to use it, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe we want to play it now, because when we banish this, we get to draw a card and gain a life. It's like Value Town Population us. So we play Hiss. We play Razor's Edge. We play Slither. So now we're pushing 7 points of damage. And because we banished the 0 to 60, we also get another card off the top of the deck. We got a blue in that time, so we do not get to draw another card. I think we can just Arsenal this. I think this is a pretty good card to Arsenal here. Arsenaling the Double Trouble sets us up pretty well for next turn. Getting to banish your block cards is so gross. So my opponent realized that they made the mistake of blocking with what the cards that they block with lets me banish them, which is insane. So it's like a lot, and I think my opponent was thinking, oh, I'm gonna block with my red and then activate backup protocol. Yeah, my opponent just said that it makes their backup protocols kind of useless, which, like, I understand. I mean, this hand's pretty sweet. So we have a blue throttle we can play, actually. I mean, you know. We've had a pretty good start here. I just realized they were running Mage Master boots, if I'm being honest. I didn't even realize that was a thing they were doing. Are we toming here? All right. Playing tome from hand. I mean, Mage Master boots and Dashio just for tome seems pretty interesting, considering that you have a lot of ways to like gain action points off the top of the deck, but I guess you're adding some pretty decent consistency. Okay, so they decided not to spark. We're going to give them the wave. Hey! That was probably like one of the worst jokes I've made ever. Now they're going to spark because they've taken the time to go ahead and do that. They're going to play Teclocore from hand and then pass. So we can throw the Mistblade with the shred. I'm gonna work through most of this turn because I think I see the line pretty quickly here. We're gonna have to use the... No, we're not. No, we're not. Never mind. Don't listen to me. It's all dependent on whether they block this or not. Kind of changes our whole turn. I guess considering I had a... No, I have Hiss, which means I get the plus. I get the go again. So that's what I want. Because I can use this to activate new and then throw the throttle at them. It's better than banishing a card from their hand, I think. I think this is a better play. It's also worth noticing that I caught earlier that my opponent's name is Blaze Storm, which I think is pretty cool. I like that name. So this hitting is actually irrelevant. And we knew it wasn't going to hit because of the Dissolving Shield. I forgot that for just a moment. My opponent said that they were just apologizing because they had to refresh. And I'm telling them that's no problem. I completely understand. We get to play the Hiss and we get to play the Slither here. To be able to give go again to like set up a little bit. And because we pitched a blue, we get both the effects here. I'm curious to see if they crown. They do crown a card. We're going to play the Hiss. Hiss. I'm probably going to do that every time I play this card. I'm just going to go hiss every time I do it. It'll be funny. We're going to activate the Slither. So we get to banish 2 cards. Hit a High Octane and a Spark of Genius. I kind of like to see that if I'm being honest. I'm going to play Preserve Tradition. We're going to put... Guess there was only one action card there. We're going to activate New. We'll see what's on top of their deck. Yes, let's banish that card. And then let's throw the throttle at them. How does this work? I'm going to ask. Do you care if I boost to see if it banishes my card or yours? Or do you know how it works? I'm curious to know if my opponent knows how it works. If he doesn't know, I'm going to ask if he cares if I hit boost. He said do it. All right, I love to see it. Okay. So don't get any go again here. I told him, I just said that's worth finding out. Like losing a blue wither is worth me knowing how that interaction works. It would be, I mean, to be fair, like my brain automatically tells me that should not work the way I want it to. That me being able to boost my opponent's cards away is insane. So I know that moving forward, but it would have been cool. There was some world where I could pitch the Foreseen to activate Stiletto and get like Omega go again, but I really think that's a trap. I also think my opponent's probably trying to throw a max V at me right here. It's worth noting that they don't have any red attack actions they can get back. They'd have to play one this turn. Okay, that's 2 High Octanes. We banished one and there's one out of the way. We also have a 0 to 60 the next time we activate new. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of defense in our hand, but not a lot of offense per se. I guess if we end up in a world where... I think I'm just going to give the Foreseen. It's probably the best thing we can do here. Let's put that on top of the deck. I like seeing that. We can actually throw... So... Okay, so they play Tome from hand, it appears. If I play Sink Below, putting the Surgical Extraction on the bottom, I can play both of these here, putting the Surgical on the bottom. I'm going to play Sink first, draw the Leave No Witnesses. Then we'll play the Fate to like play defensively here. From there, our hand will be Codex of Frailty, and it'll be Leave No Witnesses. I then get to go Leave No Witnesses, use Tunic to activate the Stilettos, play the Slither to give it go again, play Codex to get it back. Yeah, no, that's really good value for us. I am going to play the Sink here. I would like to make this play happen. This is a really good turn for us, I think. Now, we're going to have to take some damage from the gun, but, I mean, we are still at 41 life. Ooh, I don't want them to get that back. I mean, I think that's giving them a Boom Grenade back is probably better than... We'll leave that on top because we can arsenal it from the Ponder. I think giving them a Boom Grenade back is better than me giving up the like insane value turn I have cobbled together here. And if they do throw something at us to trigger the Boom Grenade, we will just take it. Okay. Yeah, we're just taking all of this damage here. We're going to take 2. We're going to take 2 more. Yep. We'll go to 34. We'll go to 32. And then we'll go to 30. I guess they decided that cranking the Boom Grenade was just worth getting the 2 extra points of life in. Now, they are less incentivized to block Leave No Witnesses because they have no cards in their arsenal, but this is still good because it banishes cards for us, and the Codex actually gets us a lot of value here if they do block. It's crazy the value that we're getting off of a 2-card hand right here. I'm actually like pretty stoked about it. They're probably just going to give me the Boom Grenade to block 4, I think. And they're going to give me the Dissolving Shield. So as a reaction, I'm going to use Tunic. They're using it preemptively, which is fine. I'm going to use Stilettos. Stilettos gives Leave No Witnesses go again. We play Codex of Frailty, get our Leave No Witnesses back, force them to get a card back, so now they're more incentivized to block. Now, they do have the 1 floating, the 1 prevention floating from Dissolving Shield. My opponent just sent the, like, XD face in the chat. Like, this has been a very good opening start for us. We're 4 turns in, and I feel like we're playing a lot of really good offense to this point. We also were able to block with 3 defense reactions last turn. So we blocked 12, and we're throwing 8 at our opponent and arsenaling a card. What an insane 5-card hand that is. They get a blue throttle. I mean, that works out for us because it's just a blue throttle that we get to banish. And if a blue throttle's over there, it's something I can play. No, the Techlo Pounder lag. We're going to throw this. I'm curious to know if they give me a card. Because, they still have the Dissolving Shield floating, which means they could just give me 1 card if they wanted. So, yeah, we blocked with 2 Fate Foreseens and a Sink Below. And then, so we blocked 12 total. Used Tunic and one of our pieces, one of our equipment pieces, to throw 8 at our opponent and arsenal another Sink Below. So we got a Throttle and a Harpoon, and we're setting up good defense here. I mean, this is what dreams are made of. This is where legends are made. And then we have this. We can kind of go over the top if we want. I assume that was played off the top. Yeah, they still have their action point, so that was Dashio'd in. I really wish that there was a more clear way that the game indicated that they had Dashio'd. I feel like that would be a lot cooler. There is no Boom Grenade in play, and they've already Dashio'd, so we're safe to just play the Sink Below. I kind of want to just go ahead and put the Command and Conquer on the bottom. I mean, we can do it all, right? So we should probably just keep this hand. Like the Bonds of Agony, like we get to pitch Double Trouble to attack with the Beckoning Mistblade. I'm still gonna make this play. Like I'm not gonna just do that to my opponent. We're still gonna make the same play. I'm gonna play consistently. They play a fuel injector. Okay. So we get to come in. One go again. On hit, our next blue card gets go again, which is pretty good. 3 to draw a card. The only way to get to 3 reactions would have been we would have had to have like pitched all the cards in our hand one way or another. So I think we're better off to do it this way. So we'll go Bonds of Agony. This is going to be for 1. And we have the potential to give this +4 up to 5, and then one of their things -2. So we essentially get to give this +6 if we want to, depending upon how they block. If they block 2 cards for 6, then I think we'll play out our hand and make it all happen here. I will not play the Slither because there is no reason to give this go again. Now I'm going to. I'm just going to play it all here just to... Yeah, I guess we're going to do it all. And we'll just leave this in our arsenal, I think. Like, we'll just let this all happen. I'd rather... Let's see. Look at their hand and choose a card. Search their hand, deck, and graveyard for up to 3 cards with the same name as that chosen card. This is probably the best card to take from them. I don't know. Tome of Fandle can give them a lot of value here. I think taking the Tome is the best thing to take. They have 2 max Vs in the deck. There's 1 more Hyper Scrapper, 1 more High Octane, 2 Harpoons, 2 Hyper Scrappers. Okay. So, and all of these are banished now. I mean, and then it says go again, so I'm gonna throw the Spider's Bite at him. Like we have the resources floating, we might as well, right? It's just 1 extra point here. I was kind of hoping they would block with a card so that we could play the Shred. I would rather leave this there longer because that is almost like an anytime reaction that I want to be doing that. Well, this is a very unfortunate hand. I guess we're just going to be... Well, if I block with just a Nick, I can block with one of them, right? Throw the Surgical and then give it +1. Now, they're probably not blocking 4 very easily, but giving it +1 would be pretty good. We could also... Man, that's a tough decision. This would be a very good turn to be able to... This would be a really good turn to be able to play the Transcend card. Maybe there's a world I'm not... Would love to have a Fate Foreseen or a Sink... I would rather have a Sink Below right here so that I could sink one of these to the bottom. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. What is our play? I'm just going to block 3. I think Just a Nick is actually a really solid card to Arsenal, considering that a lot of times we're going to draw into a blue 1-power attack that we can get value out of. So I think this is an okay turn here. They crack the Fuel Injector to gain a resource, activate Heart. There's also some consideration of us just like blocking out and trying to fatigue him here. Because, I mean, I could just block 6 this turn and then just like throw the Spider's Bite at them and then pass. They play Boom Grenade off the top. They still have an action point, so it's off the top. And then they play a Teklo Core from hand. Is there any world... They do have a blue T-Bone. So we could give it +5. Okay, so let's think about this for just a minute here. Let's think about this. I'm gonna tell my opponent we're thinking. I can throw the surgical and then just give it +1 and probably just take 2 cards out of their hand. And I'm just gonna play this to free up my arsenal so I can arsenal this. The other line we have is to pitch surgical to play this. We would transcend, activate new, throw the T-bone. We would throw the T-bone and then give it... No, we would throw the throttle and then give it +1 and then still arsenal this. So throwing surgical extraction is basically the same thing, except we are forcing a card out of their hand. We're forcing them to block in some capacity here. I think they just give us 2 cards. If they give us 2 cards, we're still just going to give them the Fang Strike and Arsenal just to nick. If this just said, like, target attack, like, when it hits, banish a card, that would be so good for us. But I understand why they didn't. That seems like a pretty OP design for the game, so I understand why they didn't go that route. They do give us 2 cards. I love to see that. I love to see that. We could have also had thrown the Spider's Bite at them and decided not to arsenal with the intention of trying to just like push the surgical extraction hit. Would make their blocking a lot more awkward. Oh, see, this is awesome. This is great because this means that we're living rent-free right now. Like everything that new stands for is living rent-free in our opponent's head. And that's not a shot at our opponent. It's how powerful this deck is. So we can... Okay. I mean, this is pretty good for us, right? So we can throw the Mistblade, throw this, play this, Codex back. Let's see how they block before I start trying to like reinvent the wheel here. But we do have a couple of cards that we can Codex back for pretty good value. Okay, so this is pretty good. This is 2 go again. I really wish we had like a Death Touch. A Death Touch would be a solid pick here. We're going to play the Siren's Call first. We add a blue card, and then we draw into a Wither, which then gives us the ability to play just a Nick, choose both, push 4 points on my opponent, put them to 9. We draw into a Sink Below. And then we draw into a Venomous Bite because we banished all blue cards off the top of their deck. Jeez. So if I pitch the Sink Below and the Wither, I have 2 floating. I won't get to keep this card if I decide to go for this. This is an interesting choice here. So we're going to throw the Spider's Bite. I think throwing the Spider's Bite, playing Codex of Frailty, we're going to get back a Leave No Witnesses. Trying to click on Leave No Witnesses. We're going to discard the Sink Below. We're going to come in with Leave No Witnesses for 4, having a Venomous Bite in our hand, which gives us the ability to put a Fang Strike into our arsenal here. Actually, we can just go for the win here, can't we? If they're not gonna block, this is just lethal. Just 8 points off the top here. What an insane My opponent just said, oh, yeah, so we were just able to close the game out there. That was a clinic from New right there. On turn 1, my opponent actually blocked with a red 0 to 60 under the implication that they were going to be able to use their backup protocol red to be able to get it back to their hand. Little did they know that actually blocking this way was going to banish their attack action, let me gain a life, draw a card so that I could arsenal something, and get it in their banish so that their backup protocol was pretty much wasted. This was a huge value step for me and a small misstep for my opponent. On turn 4, I was able to block with 3 defense reactions. Opting one to the top, leave no witnesses, I was able to sink below my surgical extraction from my hand to draw leave no witnesses. After blocking 12, my hand was Codex of Frailty and leave no witnesses. I attacked with leave no witnesses for 4, used my tunic to pop my stilettos to get a slither in my hand and then give it go again. From here, I played Codex of Frailty, forcing my opponent to get an arsenal card and giving me a ponder. I also knew the sink below was on top of my deck because that we had opted with the other Fate Foreseen. So at this point, I was able to block 12, throw leave no witnesses twice, forcing a destruction of arsenal, and still being able to arsenal a sink below. It's one of the best value turns I've ever seen. On turn 6, I was able to pitch a blue and throw surgical extraction at my opponent. The only buff that I had was the Fang Strike that was in my arsenal, but my opponent didn't know that. And they gave me 3 cards to play around a crazy reaction, which gave me all of the tempo because all they did on the following turn was put an item into play. Now guys, this was just one game on New. I'm not sure how New's matchup spread looks like, but New felt very good right here. I was able to get a lot of punishing things for my attack reactions, and I was able to block efficiently with our crazy 3 defense reaction, double leave no witnesses turn. So I was able to get a lot of value out of this match. Part of me thinks that maybe that's just how it goes against Dashio if you're playing New. I'm not sure though. I'm not very experienced on Assassin. This is one of my more early games being played with her. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.